What's good, bro?
Yo.
What's good?
Pull up.
Alright, say less. Hey, you got some gas on you?
You already know.
You about to come check. I'll come at you.
Yeah.
Alright. It's okay. What's the word, man? What's good, Richie?
My truth, man.
Alright. What y'all about to get into for the day?
Just whatever you know.
I feel it, man.
Man, same shit.
I'm trying to go out on my Northern Lights and make this network go, man.
I don't even you though. You be on that music shit too though.
Word? You really music?
Real talk. I'm
man,
nice too, bro.
Say no more, say less.
Catch you talking about that. Real talk, yeah.
Oh, man.
Videos and shit.
Good looking, bro. But if anything, yo, y'all got you my network right now? We can hit the light.
Yeah, I'm in the work to do it.
Alright, say no more.
I feel like my family prays for me. They know I'm headed for greatness. I'm hoping they'll wait on me. Over our goal and we chase it so patiently. Love them, but right now just has a vacancy. Won't let them down if they do me like gravity. Homies on lookout for all those that pray on me. If they don't think me, there won't be a grave for me. In this cold world, I like Devin, that's Satan. So in the meantime, I talk now, go up. And I'm shit, so just shoot like the stop. All of them tell me pray. Oh, yeah, we know to pray. All those that hunt and they pray. Praying our problems will just go away. All of them tell me for pray. All that we know is to pray. All those that hunt they pray. Praying our problems will just go away. In the streets, if I'm known on me, won't breathe a word. That's why my jeans have H on it. I know the mental is walk with a K on me. Live by the gun. Don't watch, they wait on me. I know these girls, they love me and stay on me. Teach some things. That's what I see lately. I made them, but they not made for me. They know I'm good, but still they gon' pray for me. If me the doctor God, but me touch my scheme. In life would I never hard like concrete. My bow-legged, and my walk eyelid. Chase my dream. So they pray for me, I pray for themselves. When me talk them say, why pray? What you want, I pray them a pray. That's how all me say. All when them tell me for pray. All I know is to pray. All those that on and they pray, pray, and our problems will just go away. All when them pray. All that we know is to pray. All those that stand and they pray, pray, and our problems will just go away.
What's up? What's up? Welcome back. Another episode of Quality Time TV. What's going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in, whether you're tuning to iTunes, SoundCloud, I don't even know, YouTube. I got my phone right. Spotify, wherever. You got music up there, right? You got music on Spotify and everything?
Yes, yeah, and I have a podcast as well called Mountain Be Thou Removed.
Oh, yeah. Word. So, why don't you introduce yourself for the people, let them know a little bit about you, and we'll get things rolling.
Okay, well, my name's Ramil, but I go by the name Richie be Unruly. For those of you who know me for the music, the
Yeah.
visuals, Richie be Unruly, Rumeale for Mountain Be Thou Removed on the podcast.
Mm. Dope, dope. How long you been running that podcast?
I'm gonna say probably like close to a month now.
Nice, nice.
Yeah, it's something I decided to try now because I decided to kind of retire from the music. The
Mm.
last project I dropped was this one right here, The
Mm.
Coming of Age.
Mm.
A boy going into a man without a father figure and how he developed, especially when it comes to being spiritually disconnected. And now my musical series, Retrace His Steps, was getting back to where I started from after all my mistakes I made in order to get right with God, right within myself, and in order to make progressive steps into my future.
Nice, nice. And that's the shirt. You designed that?
I came up with the idea. My dude, Cypher Black, he from Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? He the
Shout
one
out to
who,
him.
yeah, you feel me? He the one who designed the shirt for me.
Mm.
My dude, the Romeo Harris in Columbus, Ohio, genius by the way. You feel me? He got my stuff printed on the t-shirts, airbrush, and all that.
Wow.
You feel me? Yeah.
Talented people, man. Definitely some talented people. And what about the jacket? That's you designed the jacket too?
Nah, I bought the regular jacket at first from I think like H&M or something. I don't even remember. I just remember I liked the jacket, right?
Yeah.
My home Christian, Christian England, she got something called Imperia Bespoke, Imperia Bespoke, Bespoke. She designs clothes. You feel me? She all in Columbus, Ohio as well.
Nice. Shout out
So
to her.
yeah, she's the one who designed it for me on top of it. You feel me?
I like that. Does that the 13 represent anything?
Yeah, 13 represents the number of rebellion, but for me, I use it as the rebellion of the wicked ones, or not wicked ones, not listening to the wicked ones more so, to rebellion towards the wicked ones.
Yeah.
Because if leading not righteous, if they're not leading people in the right way or not telling you how to operate right, that's not someone I should listen to.
I like
That
that.
ties to tracing steps too as well, because you got to think a lot of children. People think and wonder why there's so many kids that don't listen to their parents and they have unruly behavior. They're not doing what they need to do because they're following the footsteps of people they feel like they need to learn from. The people that's in their households should be the parents that should be reaching them, aren't doing what they're saying. They say to do one thing, but their actions aren't following, and children follow the actions, not the words.
That makes sense. You know, like when I hear the term like it takes a village to raise a child type of thing. You know, it's usually because the kids see what's happening in their communities, things like that, and they see it and they think that's what they're supposed to be doing. So it's interesting that you bring that up, because that was actually something that we wanted to get into. You know, like when we spoke originally about the episode, you said you really wanted to speak on like unifying communities. You want to go into that a little bit?
Yeah. Well, first off, I feel like as far as unifying the community, it takes everyone understanding themselves first. Because if the community can't know you if you don't know you. So when you go out, it's about transparency. If you know who you are on the inside, you step outside. Hey, look, this is who I am unapologetically. You feel me? With all my flaws, with all my strengths and all my weaknesses. Because only as strong as your weakest link. So if everyone knows each other's weakness, it's like chess. I guarantee you there's going to be other people who have a strength that can help that weakness. Now, if everybody's on the same page at that point, we start moving. Now, that's on a social level. You start communicating, you start understanding each other. On the economic level now, you understand who's good in what area. You start working with those people so you can start building up on the community. As far as financial, everyone's always bad, but if you don't understand each other and how you can help each other socially and economically, how can you use those finances to build a community? You can't.
That's a good point that you bring up. You know, like a lot of times people like to compare the Jewish community to the black community. And I think the saying is like in the Jewish community, the dollar goes around like 7 times before it leaves the Jewish community. And, and for I would say African Americans, blacks, whatever you want to call it, sometimes we get paid, and instead of going to our local business and spending our money there, we go buy some Jordans or we go buy some Gucci, and we put our money in those places. And
and we are the 8th largest spending power.
I didn't know that. That's interesting. I didn't know that. Yeah.
That's why all of the other cultures capitalize on us.
It's true. I mean, they do, because like I said, we go out and we spend the money right away as soon as we get it.
Mm.
You know, even, and I don't knock anybody for how they make money, but you know, you think about people who are getting their money doing drug dealing or scamming. Instead of them taking their money and trying to wash it and clean it up, they go out and they go buy the expensive belts and the Gucci belts and all this expensive stuff. And it's like, bro, come on, like you could take that money and put it into something like real estate or purchase a
That
business or something like that, and you know, take the money and do it that way. And that, I feel like when you do that, you do bring the community together, because you are generating jobs at this point. You're
that
creating a flow of income. It's not just, oh man, I gotta go do this.
passive residual,
What you said?
passive and residual.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know, I just feel like that's something that in the community we need, especially us, as we're a little bit older than the younger cats. If we can bring that and we could introduce them to that, rather than when they get to our age in their 20s or 30s and then they realize, oh wow, maybe I should have been doing it that way. That's when I usually feel like it's too late. Not too late, but you know,
The
you could
thing
have had a head
is,
start.
nah, that's the thing. In our age, though, we have the knowledge of how to work the financial system.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing about the younger community, the reason why there's a separation is because they understand how to stick together.
Mm-hmm.
So you imagine if we feed the younger ones our knowledge on financial literacy,
Mm-hmm.
they already know how to stick together through thick and thin. How many times have you heard people say that song by LA? It was me and bro. I had one more buck on my plate. We was me and bro. We was in the store. We both got 50-cent cakes. Even when I was in, when we was bad, I guarantee you, if one dude had $1, we'd still split that half a bag of Doritos and a Capri Sun.
That's true. That's very true, man. I remember splitting like the biscuit boxes at Popeyes with my boys growing up.
You,
You know, we all.
why is it change? Why is it that we change now that we're
Mm,
older? All of a sudden, it's for me. We're all for we. Like no, it's not for me and you. Now it's just for me and you. Like you feel me?
mm.
Me and you is in togetherness, and me and you is in. Oh, you stay over there, I stay over here. It shouldn't be like that.
I think, I'll be honest, I have a theory with that. I think that goes somewhat to the internet. I think the internet is one of those reasons as to why that happened, where we want instant gratification and we want
Mhm.
things to just happen for us right away, where
Yeah.
we're not looking out for the next person all of the time. It's usually like, I need to have this look, I need people to look at me like this, I need to have this image. And
Mhm.
you know, I think that prevents us from, sometimes it'll prevent us from looking out for somebody else. Like you
Yeah.
said, like splitting a box of Popeyes, somebody go ahead and tweet that. Now you end up on as some meme online, and now you're thinking about that. But like you said, when we grew up, we split $1. We bought chips together. We bought the quarter water juices, Laffy Taffies, and you know, we would do it that way. So I think the internet has somewhat to deal with that.
I think so too.
Mhm.
The internet really plays a big role in all of this because I'm sure you're aware that energy is neither created nor destroyed, right?
Absolutely, 100%.
So anything that we put out, especially through the internet, can be stored.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to think about it, is in like, I wouldn't say hertz. Hertz has to do with sound frequencies, pixels or so, right? You post your stuff up on the internet, like music videos, for example. Even after my physical body is gone, you'll still be able to technically communicate with me.
Mm-hmm.
Because that energy is forever there.
Yeah. That's
So if people put negative energy into it, people are going to receive that negative energy. Is where it's
100%.
like transmitters. It's like transmitters.
100%. It's crazy you bring that up, because I listen to Gary Vee, and I remember I was watching one video with him, and something he
Mhm.
said that stuck with me was, somebody asked him, like, why do you always, if y'all don't know who Gary Vee is, he's like this businessman, and he
Yeah.
has like all of these videos, like I think like thousands of videos on YouTube of a whole bunch of different topics. And you know,
Yeah.
people were sitting, they were asking me, yo, Gary Vee, why do you create all of these videos? Like, why do you do it? And he's like, I'm documenting my life, not just for you guys, but I'm also documenting it for my great 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 grandchildren. Because he
Mhm.
puts all of this energy out with who he is on camera,
Yeah.
what we're benefiting from right now in 2018 listening to him, his great great grandchildren have the same benefits because he does that. So
Mhm.
it's crazy that you bring that up about the energy just being, you can transfer it through media, and you know, be able to give people this, show people who you are hundreds of years from now. It just doesn't have to be now, but like you said, it all matters. It all depends on what type of energy it is.
True.
So,
Good energy indeed, man.
Yeah.
As far as what you said mentioned earlier about instant gratification,
Mhm.
the thing is, if you think about it, even in the terms of God,
Mhm.
God never gives you what you ask for right away, depending on how big the prayer is or how strong of what it is
Mhm.
you want. You feel
Mhm.
me? Because you got to think. Remember how you see in the industry, right? Certain people make it
Mhm.
and they get a big bag and they can't handle it.
Oh yeah.
They end up spending
You're
it.
not ready for it.
So that's
Yeah.
what God does to you.
Mhm.
You feel me? When He knows you want something, it's not
Mhm.
that He abandons you. He causes you to go through a series of things to refine you so
Mhm.
that He's building you up so that when you do arrive at your destination, it's like, okay, you're ready for it. You can handle it. That's why you see certain people make it and they're like, wow, look at the longevity. Example,
Mhm.
Jay-Z. You
Mhm.
see the longevity on it. It's like, wow, he made it to be a billionaire. How many people got even 1 or 2 millions? And it's like, oh, all right, wow, where did they go?
Mhm.
You feel
Yeah.
me?
I think that's what happens with one hit wonders, man. They blow up too quick, and they're not ready for it. You know,
Ex-
they when it comes to artistry, they weren't ready. Like they had this one song that came out, but they weren't ready to create more and more of that. They didn't understand the craft yet, and
yeah.
you know that kind of brings us into our next topic. Another something else you brought up that was crazy about like books and music.
Well, as far as the books,
Mm-hmm.
I do have some books coming out. I
Mm-hmm.
can't put a date on it, but the first one is called I Lost Myself Trying to Find Dad, which is a spinoff of this very same thing right here. Coming
Mm-hmm.
from a broken home, people ignore the fact that there are a lot of people that are out here hurting. A lot of people that are in the ages of 40, 50, and even younger still dealing with traumatization.
Mm-hmm.
Not having a father figure in your life really puts something in you, which a lot of people are going through depression, but yet they can't speak on it. They say, hey, yeah, talk to me about it, but then people will throw it in your face.
Mm-hmm.
Or people will say, wow, I didn't know that person was going through this, but yet when they cry out for help, people sit there and
Mm-hmm.
ignore them, right?
Mm-hmm.
That stems from that. Because the Bible even says that you're supposed to have a father figure as the head of the household. He's supposed to get his orders from God so he can lead his family in the right way. In
Mm-hmm.
which case, it keeps you from having rebellious children. And the Bible also says, honor your father and your mother so that your days may be long. Why do you think people are dying young? There's no more structure. They're following the ways of the world instead of the spirit.
Mm-hmm.
It's all good to have a progressive mind. It's all good to understand how things work at a very fast pace. But if you don't, if you can understand the world but can't understand yourself, you're
Mm-hmm.
lost.
100%. I think that's what it comes down to. Um, in 2018, and once again, this goes back to the internet, man. It's I think people lose who they are because they want to put on this facade and show people this is who I am. Like this is the mask that I'm gonna put on, but there's so much stuff that's happening behind me, and it's amazing that you said that you're writing a book and you make music too, and just having that creative outlet sometimes I think is what kind of helps people to understand themselves a lot more. I always
Yeah,
say that the best songs, and for me, I have this analogy with music. The best songs are the songs that say what you did not know how to put into words, and
fact.
I think that is the best song. You ever listen to a song where you go, "Wow, I didn't like that hit me in a certain way. It touched me because you had the feeling this whole time, but you just didn't know how to put it into words."
Facts. I used to be a terrible communicator, bro. So that's
Mm,
why I used to put stuff in music.
mm,
You feel me? And it took me losing the last girlfriend I had. Well, probably the only one I've ever been in love with for
mm,
me to, all right, yo, I gotta really like sit back. And I learned how to communicate during that time.
mm,
So that's why now, like, I could vocalize anything I feel, any way that I view things, my opinions, my facts, especially the facts. You
mm,
feel me? Now I could articulate myself through the vernacular of little books, different compositions. So either which way it goes, I'm able to get a point across now.
mm,
The music stem from feelings.
mm,
This time I could take that feelings along with logistics
mm.
and put it out there as great energy for others to receive it so they can start to understand it and then they can move forward as well.
100%. And like we said before, the energy is transferable.
Yes,
Like,
sir.
there's a reason why we could listen to a song that's 30, 40 years old and still have the same feeling. Like, music, as being a DJ, I'll tell you, music is amazing because I look at music as a time machine where, I've DJ'd parties where I had this one anniversary party I did, and this lady walked in. She had somebody holding her. She's an older lady, so she had somebody holding her, bringing her in. and she's like it looks like she's struggling, like she couldn't stand up by herself and whatnot. And as the night went on, we had all the festivities. They made speeches. She made a speech. She had to hold on to somebody while she was making a speech. And then party time came. Everybody get on the dance floor, and I could start doing my thing. And I start going into some older records. I kid you not. I forget what song I played, but she got up and she started moving. She started dancing all by herself. And for me, it was amazing to see that, because what some people don't understand is when certain songs keep a certain point in your life where you have a memory. For her, that song triggered a memory for her years, probably maybe 40, 50 years ago, 60 years ago. I don't know how old she was, but it triggered something in her which made her feel young again, and rejuvenated her to the point where she was dancing by herself. And
the Bible says, "Spirit of a child," or take on the mind of a child.
Yeah, I don't think people understand that music, like media, is just that powerful. To be able to transfer that energy, though, the media, art, whatever it is, like you said, books too, and same thing like we said before. Books have power in themselves, where you take on a book and you can learn about somebody's whole entire lifespan in less than a day.
Facts. The music, they never put everything in it. So you're only taking pieces, bits and pieces. So even if you try to understand them fully just from the music, you'll still be lost. You'll be running around in a circle.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I got this little theory with books too, and speaking about life experiences, I always say that, and I was talking to somebody yesterday about this. I say that nobody ever reads the same book. Whatever book you read, and we could read the same exact title of the book. We both could read Harry Potter. But it's not going to be the same for both of us because of our past experiences. It's the same way as if I said to you, yo, there's a brown house at the top of the hill. That hill is going to look different for you. That house is going to look different for you. That color shade of brown is going to look different for you, because we all have different experiences of things that we go through. And that's the beauty with books, is that we all create our own movies in our mind. And I think that's just amazing that we can do that. And when we talk about movies and people say, oh, a movie's not that good because of this and that, it's because it's not the movie you saw in your head.
Oh yeah. Well, it's all perception, bro. For real. But here's the thing about it. Imagine if, as a community, right, again, this goes back to this, imagine if all of us get different perceptions, but then we talk about what our perceptions are. Now, one thing that won't go amiss in that is the truth, because then we'll all be able to say, well, at least it's a brown house.
Yeah.
On top of the hill. So you know the truth. And once everyone knows what that truth is, we all move forward on it, because we're all solid, moving in solidarity on what the truth is. One mind, one body, one spirit. And that's what my next series is, Progressive Steps, the mind, the body, and the spirit.
I like that. No, you're absolutely right. You bring everything together as one, and it kind of helps. Communication through books and music, man. Everything is all connected.
Even visuals.
Yeah, the visuals.
Yeah.
Movies, music videos. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you have. It's that energy is always going to be there for everybody, and it's just beautiful that we have these creative outlets.
Yes, sir.
So besides books and music, is there anything else? Any other like creative mediums that you use?
Public speaking. When the opportunities present themselves, I always like doing that. But for the most part, bro, I have a lot more fun these days in church. And not the most celebrated thing these days, but honestly, I find there's more freedom inside church. Like, there's way more freedom in there. You feel spiritual liberation, man. And let me tell you, you're in your highest spiritual form usually when you're a child, where, you feel me, there's no limits for you. Someone tells you, yeah, man, you can't do that. You say, why? Yes, I can. And you believe you can. It's for some reason, they see your spirit gets stifled when you get older these days, with a lot of people, where they start to doubt themselves. They start to feel like they can't. They start to get frustrated instead of just trying and trying and trying. It's like playing a video game. When you get mad, you don't just rage quit every time and break your entire system. You just say, yo, bro, I gotta chill a little bit. Let me let me play a different game or eat. Like you feel me, go do something else, go outside and play, and then come back and beat the game. You feel me?
Mm,
So like that's one thing I don't understand. And I like I said, bro, even me being in church, it teaches me how to arm myself to
mm,
go out there and have that spirit. The
mm,
spirit willpower. And willpower means you're gonna accomplish anything you desire by any means. Well, maybe not by any means necessary, but all means that are right. All moral means necessary, I should say.
mm. And by the way, shout out to everybody that's tuning in on the chat. I do see. Thank you for tuning in. If y'all got any thoughts, just hit the chat and let's talk. Let's talk a little bit. But you bring up a very good point too. That you said willpower, and you said public speaking. I listen to a lot of you know Eric Thomas, E.T.
Mm.
Fletcher, E.T. Fletcher. I'm talking about someone
Heard the name.
20 years.
I think I've heard the name before.
Yeah, Eric Thomas. So he's the guy that made that video, "Bad as You Want to Breathe." You only succeed until you want it as bad as you want to breathe.
Oh, the brolic dark skin dude.
I don't know. He's pretty big.
Yeah,
He
he
always
always
wears
wears.
like a cap. Yeah.
Yeah. I know him. Yeah.
Yeah, that guy, you know, and he always just talks about like willpower, man, and just like the you got it's not about like your talent. It's about like that will to just want to move forward, you know, and
Facts.
and with that, I can say just going back to like the books and the music is I respect those people, those artists that do have that willpower to put out these forms of art for people to be able to utilize. Like on a previous episode, we talked about Stan Lee, and I always said like, yo, because he did what he did at that time when it was looked down upon to make like comic books, we have this whole Marvel universe for people to have jobs, for people to have imaginations, for people to be creative. Like that's amazing to do. So you know, it's crazy that you bring the willpower up because that's what it made me think of when we were talking about the books and music.
Well, that's really where I'm at. I tell people a lot of times that I'm really a big kid on the inside. I might have the mind of an adult.
Yeah.
I might have the mind of an adult, bro, and I might know how to be responsible at times, but I do have an immature side, and I don't hide that from anyone.
Mm,
You know, people are like, "Yeah, man, grow up." I'll probably look at them like, "No, like for
mm.
what? So I could be all uptight like you, bro? Like, you feel me? Like you're mad at the universe. Like I'm not. Like you feel me? God made me to be this way. We're all God's children. He never said you're all God's man child. You feel me? Or woman child. Like he said you're all God's children.
Mm,
You feel me? Why do you think there are people who take so long to age? My guy
mm.
Morgan Freeman been living his best life for so long, bro. Like seriously, dude. Like,
Pharrell too.
bro,
Pharrell
why do you
has
think?
he hasn't aged a day.
Why do you think that? Because I'm happy and like, you feel me, bro? Like you take on that spirit of a
Yeah.
child, bro. You enjoy life, dude. You hey, be responsible,
Mm,
but you handle life in a certain way. Laughter, it brings joy, which causes you not to age as fast. Even the Bible says God doesn't want you to stress. He doesn't want you to
mm,
worry. Each day is going to bring its own challenges. So if you take on life like that, but keep in mind what your goals are,
mm.
you'll be all right, dude, because you're going to age gracefully. You're going to always find joy, even through the struggles, and you're going to get to your goals, especially if you keep in God first.
Mm. 100%, 100%. So, do you have any like you said that you write books, right? Do you have any books that you recommend for people that you know you feel like inspired you?
Yeah. Well, first off, the Bible,
Mhm.
offer it.
Mhm.
Offer greatest reference point ever made,
Mhm.
period. I got The Fred Factor. That's a book that's nice.
Mhm.
Read that one, for sure.
Mhm.
The Power of Increase. That's a pretty good book.
Mhm.
I've read the 48 Laws of Power, but the only way to truly implement that, honestly, is by knowing the Bible, to be
Mhm.
real with
Mhm.
you. You feel? And even in the beginning of the 48 Laws of Power, remember I said rebellion against the wicked ones?
Mhm.
It starts off saying the
Never
40.
outshine the master.
No, not that. Well, the master's God. You can't outshine him.
Mhm.
It's over.
Mhm.
But it's not just that. It's that the 48 Laws of Power starts off saying that this book is meant to be used in defense
Mhm.
against those who use it wrongly.
Mhm.
You feel me? So
Mhm.
no one who has any real power is supposed to use it to manipulate others in a wrong way, bro. If you have power, bro, you're supposed to help put others in power. And if everyone in the community is in power, who really has power then? Because then it's going to be like how it was when we were kids. If
Mhm.
anything, you want to turn it into a game, then it becomes, all right, well, we're all good. Imagine act like in Atlanta, right? Everybody's eating.
Mhm.
Nobody's each other. At that point, it's just like, all right, man, yo, let's just have some fun, bro. Like, Feel me? Like, yeah, let's play 2K. I'll bet a couple bands. Yeah, it's not gonna hurt us. We just fun then. You feel me?
Yeah,
It
just
turns
making the game interesting.
exactly, bro. The game turns into a big play. The world turns into a big playground for us at that point.
Well, I always say life is a game, man. Like it's that's all it is. You just have to be able to have fun with it. But
Facts.
48 Laws is a very very interesting book. It's not. I'm not gonna say it's one of my favorites, but it's definitely an interesting book. I remember the first time going through it and just being like, wow, like this is all powerful information, very powerful information. And you gotta think like what Robert Greene gave us in that book was probably just the surface.
It
Like
was a service
it's
because
yeah, you can't give everything away.
yeah, everything that he's talking about in that book,
Mm,
bro, has to do with spiritual information, bro.
mm,
The spiritual things of life are things that aren't seen by everybody.
mm,
Once that door opens for you, everything starts to make sense.
mm,
Everything. You can see things on the physical plane. You're like, okay, I see that looks good then, but those are the things that are appealing to the flesh.
mm.
A girl can look good to you, bro, but if you can't see her spirit, you're not gonna see it coming when she ends up doing you wrong. You feel me? You're not gonna see
100%.
it coming. It's like, yo, why did he hang out with those dudes and then they ended up doing that to him? You
Mm,
feel me? You're not gonna notice it. That's why, and trying to understand a person's mind, bro,
mm,
will lead you astray because a person could feed you information that they want you to know. You feel me?
mm.
They'll only reveal as much as they want you to know. That's one of the 48 laws. Say less than necessary.
Oh yeah.
But of transparency, you won't need to worry about that because then it's like, yeah, it's all on the table.
Mm,
It increases trust.
mm. Yeah, and it's interesting you bring that up too, because I think that's something in the music industry that not a lot of artists do get is
Mm-hmm.
is the say always say less than necessary, but then
Mm-hmm.
also it says in there that you have to be was it court the room or something like that, where you have to be the presence in a room. So it's like how do you sometimes it's like how do you do both? And you brought up Jay-Z earlier. And it's funny to me how Jay-Z doesn't have to drop something every single week, but his
Mm-hmm.
presence is so powerful. If he were to drop an album right now, or Beyonce, let's use Beyonce as an example, because in my opinion, Beyonce is
Yeah.
the new Michael Jackson. So
Yeah.
if
That's
Beyonce,
a 48 power too.
yeah,
Use your increase honor and respect. Yeah.
100%. And it's like if she drops an album right now, the internet breaks. The internet is done. Everything that's happening right now is completely irrelevant. And it's crazy because we do not hear from her that often. So it's
And
crazy
she
how she
focused.
can communicate with her fans like that. There's a point where her absence sometimes says more than her presence.
Yeah.
Mm,
Well, she has a cult like following, bro. I can't even like
yeah.
man, it's not even normal anymore.
Mm,
But I mean, I can't knock her for that, bro. You feel me? Because like I said, both of them, as long as they're doing it in a way that I feel like God wants them to move, bro.
mm,
Who am I to say anything about it? You feel me? If
mm,
they're telling people to head in a certain direction that's in the right, I can't say anything about that. You feel me? Their
mm,
strategies are working. So I mean, hey, who am I? You feel me?
mm.
But
100%.
and the good thing is the reason why it's important to like do what you do, put stuff out that keeps everyone on point,
Mm,
but at the same time stepping back is because spiritual health is important, bro.
mm,
God rested on the seventh day, bro.
mm.
Everyone always tries to stress, yeah, we gotta work 24/7 every day. Bro, if our creator took a day out the week, bro,
Mm,
on a Saturday to rest, bro. Especially remember, now think about this. When we were younger as kids, we always found our best days on Saturday. That's the day
mm.
when even though we knew we didn't have school, we still woke up early to watch cartoons and we were on one. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like if even our creator would do that,
Mm,
why are we not doing that?
mm,
Because if you're gonna work towards your craft every day, you still need to rest and get back to you because
mm,
you're sharing your energy with so many different people. You don't know what each person is going through. All that now, again, positive, negative energies.
mm,
They could be holding in a lot of negative energies in them,
mm,
and then once just them being around you, it could rub off on you,
mm,
even in the slightest. But if
mm.
you're not paying attention to the spiritual aspect, you're not gonna notice it.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, you're gonna just start picking up habits. Now that's the physical aspect of it. You consider it habits. You're gonna be like, yo, since when did I start doing this?
Mm,
You feel me? And if you retrace your steps and backtrack, you're gonna notice, yo, who was I before? Who am I now?
mm.
Who I was
100%.
before never used to do this.
Mm,
Where did I pick this stuff up from? And if you pay attention to every person you're around and really study them, you'll know where it came from.
mm. And I like what you said too about the rest. As creatives, sometimes we want to work on our craft 24/7, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm victim to one of those people, but it's because I love it so much. I love music so much. I'm like so passionate about it where I could work 48 hours straight, no sleep on a project, But for those who don't know, I'm gonna say I'm a gym addict, and they always say the growth happens when you're resting, not when you're in the gym. And this is the time where, as a DJ, you practice certain scratches or you practice certain techniques, and the muscle memory isn't 100% happening while you're doing it. It's actually when you do it in your mind when you're not even there in front of the turntables. And it's funny that you bring that up about rest, because I always say, man, life lessons are learned in the gym, and people don't understand this. Like, you learn so much about life, and that's
a meditative space.
Exactly. And it's a place where, you have to separate everything that's going on in the world. It's you versus this treadmill, or you versus this weight, this bench press, this squat, whatever it is. It's just you versus that in that moment, and you have to be present in that moment, or it's not going to work for you. But it's just that hour or 2 hours that you're in the gym doesn't do anything for your body if you're trying to gain muscle. It happens when you get home, and what you eat, what you put in your body, how much sleep you get, Exactly.
Yeah, we're made. If you listen to Dr. Sebi, bro.
Oh, man.
Seriously, bro, we're made from carbon-based,
Mm-hmm.
carbon-based organisms, bro. And carbon-based are fruits and vegetables.
Mm-hmm.
And if you think about it, bro, even in biblical times, the one who created us brought us in a garden of fruits and vegetables. So eating meat, that's actually harming your body a lot more than people think. Now, example. I remember one time I ate, either 2 apples or 2 plums, and I wasn't hungry for a day and a half, bro. Just off that alone. I eat rice and chicken and all this stuff, and I feel like I gotta eat 3 to 5 times a day. Isn't that crazy to you?
Yeah. There's more nutrients, there's more stuff that's in there. I actually cut meat out earlier this year, so I can definitely relate to that. It's definitely a good point that you bring up. But I just had to say that whole like gym and just resting is something that people don't get. Man. Life lessons are learned in the gym. I feel like everybody should definitely go there. And a little bit earlier you were saying something about the people that you're around, the energy that you have. And I thought that was a very, very interesting topic that you brought up, because I'm going to bring the clip up. But with 6ix9ine, oh, man. First off, let me run the clip. You're an artist. You're from New York. I'm a DJ. I'm from New York. So I'm sure we both got opinions on this topic. But there was a video interview that came out with Aboogie and Academic. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to run that clip real quick.
Yeah.
Queen of New York. Cardi got it.
Cardi got it right now?
Yeah, no hesitation. Cardi got it. For me, first of all, I'm from the BX stores, so that got something to do with it. I ain't even gonna lie.
Yeah,
it's always BX.
But is it for the music or like the movement, or both?
Even when it come to the music or damn, I was trying to let you throw it just that, but nah.
Yeah.
Nah, she got it. When it comes to like the whole image look right now, everything lit right now, she got it. But with the damn. Go back.
I'm down for it's halftime. I see the crowd already.
Now, like I was saying on halftime real quick, like she got it right now, but I ain't gonna lie, when it comes to the music, Nicki do got it with the writing and all that.
If Cardi got it for the queen, who is the king if there's a king?
Damn, I hate to admit it, but Broski got it right now.
It's a lot. Give it a 6?
It's a lot. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, we can't even talk down on that.
Yeah, so as you guys saw, Aboogie thinks 6ix9ine is the king of New York. But before we get into that, man, we all know the whole situation of what's going on with 6ix9ine. He got locked up. He got caught up with racketeering. We spoke about it last week. But what's your thoughts on it? How do you feel about it?
I mean, honestly, bro, I feel like whatever you do in the dark is gonna come to light. You feel? Sometimes you got to deal with your consequences, because whatever you deal with in your past could come back and catch up to you. But in this situation, I feel like it's bogus, because you notice while in the midst of him doing all of that stuff, he wasn't in trouble, not once. And all this stuff are allegations from things he did in 2013, 5 years ago.
Mm.
All of a sudden now, the man is doing well for himself. He's changing his life. He's out here actually giving back to his community and being deserving of the title of king. And now it's like, oh, well, yeah, did we mention we're going to finally throw you in jail now? Why is that? Because he's a pillar in the community. He's influencing other people to do the right thing. People who are constantly do it, get way less time. They always go in and out of jail. So I feel like that's what it is. I feel like it's bogus. Like, let the man change his life. And I don't think it has to do with him making a decision to cut people off, because sometimes you have to cut people off. If he felt like he could trust those people, they would have still been around, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Sometimes you got to question yourself. If you were the one that got cut off from him, you got to question yourself, man. Why would he have done that? They say don't bite.
They knew. They stole from him. They stole, what was it, like 2.5 million or something like that from him?
That's why I say don't bite the hand that feeds you. Because now let's say if you don't understand business, right? Let's get that 2.5. This is the same thing like how dudes back in the streets, you hit licks on the plug, right? You gonna hit a lick on the dude that could keep giving you weed, and then when you go through a drought, where you gonna get it from?
It's true. It's 100% true.
You back in the desert looking for water again. Why would you steal from the dude that's putting you in a position to eat?
You got to be taking care of him. You got to be taking care of him, man.
Exactly. And then when you ready to get in your position to make your money, you can be like, yo, look, I feel like I'm good now, yo. I feel like I want to, like, you feel me, do my thing. And more than likely, I'm like, yo, do you, bro?
Yeah, 100%.
Now you got two people that could put people in positions. If you take it from the dude that's giving you a position, then you bring now nobody eats.
Yeah, you look at like ASAP Mob or Pro Era. That's how they did it. Odd Future, same thing. You know, there was one person who came up and everybody else just followed, and they all kind of did their own thing after that. Odd Future, everybody went their separate ways. Pro Era, everybody's doing their own thing. ASAP, same thing. You know, it was really just Ferg and Rocky, but now Rocky's out here designing clothes. Ferg is still out here making music. But
12 coming up now too.
12 he is. But I mean, in terms of like who already hit it, who already like bounced off and made a career from it. You know, I would say that those two are the ones that really ran with it. But you know, if it wasn't for Rocky getting to where he was, if it wasn't for Peso, it was the Peso record that hit. If it wasn't for Peso, then you know there would have been no ASAP Mob out here right now that we would have known about. So you know, that's a good point that you bring that up. You know, you just have one person. I feel the same way where it's like, yo, they said that they were gonna super violate him. Now I don't know what they meant by that, but like you said, why would you hurt the person that's feeding you right now? Like, this is the person you need to be taking care of. You need to be taking him, even if his team is doing the racketeering and all of this stuff. You need to take him so far out the picture that they can't even connect anything at this point. They have video of him now putting a hit out on some dude, on a Chief Keef's dude, and that's on video. Him on camera talking about, yo, I got 60K on his head, like. You know, and you see Treyway in the video, like you see him Shotty in the video, like why would you do that? Like, get that camera out of here. We need to keep him far away from this stuff. And it just sucks, man, because I listened to his album got leaked today, and today was the first time I actually really felt bad because I listened to the album and I was just like, wow, this is a really, really good project. As far as energy, it is one of the most energetic albums to come out this year, and he's not making a dollar from that. He's not, because it got leaked, which means it's on no streaming services. It's not, he can't perform. He can't perform anything, so he can't do any shows. So he's literally just put out this great album for free, and he's not going to get anything but some attention, some blog posts, and that's really it.
Anything that's probably going to increase his streaming. Because if people were smart, I feel like what they would do is, how about you stream the stuff that's already out so that could increase his money. Now you got a free project and you know where he could make money. Because streaming is free. Streaming is free. All you got to do is listen.
It is. Yeah. But you got to think too that it's streaming is free, but his older records, we're talking about, he's hit Billboard 11 times. For each song that he's put out for singles, 11 times. Now you have an album that has 13 songs in it. Now let's minus the songs that you already put out, which I believe is like 4. It means you had 7 more songs that could have charted. 7 more songs that could have charted, which means 7 more songs that could have got all of those streams, which would be um, way more money for you and your family at this point. Where now your family can't eat off of this because you was around the wrong people. You should have got out of it, man. You should have just kept doing what you're doing. Because when you think about it, 6ix9ine is the king of New York at this point. He is running. He is the hottest artist in New York,
I
besides
don't think
Cardi
it's
B.
I don't think it's just the fact that him having the records that makes him the king, though. I feel
Oh,
like
okay, yeah, absolutely.
I feel like what makes you a king is not only your relatability to people of all ages, especially the children, but your ability to lead, your ability to get in position of power, and for you to delegate it responsibly. For you to be active in the community now that you have the power, like not even just in your specific community in New York. He travels around and helps people. You feel me? Because technically he's Spanish and his community is the Spanish community. So no one can sit there, hold claim and say, well, no, you have to be here. Like, no, you don't have to be in one specific area. The places that need help are where you go to help. You feel me?
That's
and
true.
he's shining a light so other people in the city could say, yo, I want to, you feel me? I want to step to the plate. Example, you see DJ Cranberry, Jay Critch, Don Q and them, they're moves in this right now too. Jay Critch just what? He just did a little what? I think it was like a back to school drive or so, a cookout or something like that. Just little things like that bring people together. It shows them being a family again is like. It shows them what's important. It shows them what standing together in uniformity is like.
So would you say that, so what you're saying is that's how somebody could become basically the leader in their craft, or like King of New York, you could say. Would they be a leader in their craft doing that?
Yeah, if you're putting out the right amount of material that's inspiring people, because I don't get me wrong, I'll be honest, I do like 6ix9ine's songs, but on as far as the kids, it's very violent, and you gotta no, seriously, you gotta think. We can see it, we can listen to it, and be like, oh yeah, we hear it, and it's not gonna affect us. We're not just gonna pick up the pump and just go bust down people's doors and start wilding.
I hope
But
not.
the kids that you feel me, but I hope not. Yeah, facts. But the kids that are listening to it, they're not separating the difference or the two. So for them, it's like, oh yeah, that's normal. Yeah, I'm copping a strap tomorrow. You feel me? That's so good, bro.
But no, I hear you on that. But I sometimes when I do hear that now, it's like I think back to when we were growing up and the music that we heard. You know, you even think about Biggie kicking the door, waving the 4-4. Like you hear these certain rappers, and when we grew up, we really had gangster rap, like real
Facts.
gangster rap.
Say it and do it.
Yeah, like it was raw. Some of that stuff was raw. You know,
gotta think, a lot of us ended up becoming that. Back in 09 in New York, people was wild, bro. You couldn't walk through certain neighborhoods without something happening to you.
I could agree with that.
Yeah, a lot. It was the gang violence was a lot, bro. That's what caused that whole indictment a couple years back.
That's true, and it was there. But I mean, when it comes to 6ix9ine, you know, he's proven and he's shown as an artist that he doesn't just have to make those type of records, and he has shown that he's versatile. And you know, I think, in my opinion, that's something that when I say he's a king of New York, he was able to make music that was versatile. Yeah, he had his gangster rap stuff, but come on, dude also had a Spanish song that came out. He also had that song with Nicki that came out. But then he had a presence on social media. He had a personality that you would get pissed off at him this week, but next week he'll put a video out and have you dying laughing. Remember when he did that video with him running back in his boxes, and everybody did it like, oh, nobody's faster than me.
Yo, yeah, nah, the 6ix9ine challenge is hilarious.
Yeah, but
I don't know why y'all acting like I'm not fast, man. Hilarious for that.
And then he had a video with him running outside with like a super soak in his hand in his boxes, and it's like
But that shows you that people are imperfect, bro. Everyone, whenever you're in a position, they expect you to be like, yeah, man, did you see he just breathed out his left nostril? He's wrong for that. Like, bro, we're still human, bro. Like, let people be them again. You feel me? Like, make that great again. You worried about making America great. How can America great when we can't even make ourselves great again?
I like that. I like that. I think that's what it comes down to. But like I said before, I feel like his team should have had that responsibility where 6ix9ine was becoming a good person. Not a good person as in like he's good for the community, but like he was a great artist. And you know, they should have let him stick with that. Like he had an art, and for me, as a person that loves music, I'm getting really tired of seeing upcoming artists' careers end short because
Yeah.
they have the talent is there. Bobby Shmurda, it was there. We wouldn't have known what happened because he put out one song. XXX Tentacion was one of my favorite artists, and it hurt me like to this day, even just like thinking about it. It hurt that his career was shut down like that. You know,
You know why, bro?
mhm,
There's a Bible verse. I forgot which one it is, but
mhm,
it says, "In this world, we're battling against the prince of. We're not battling against flesh and blood, bro.
mhm,
We're not warring against each other. We're battling against the principalities of darkness. You feel me?
mhm,
Wickedness in high places. The people who have the power to change the world,
mhm,
those are always the ones that are targeted. That's why they say
mhm,
the good die young, because if everyone is on that page,
mhm,
there's strength in numbers. They're afraid of unity, so
mhm.
divide and conquer is their tactic, right?
Yeah,
X, he had a certain knowledge that he was passing on.
yeah,
A
he
power
definitely
a lot
did.
of people don't know that they have, bro. Watch the video for Sad.
Oh yeah, 100%. I've seen,
Yeah.
I've watched almost all of his interviews, even his first interview when he came out of jail with Adam 22, and this was his first interview coming out, and you could tell that this kid just knew, like he knew stuff
Hmm.
at his age. Not saying that
Hmm.
he wasn't supposed to know, but stuff that people older in their 50s, 60s, 70s don't even know, and
Because
it's.
God reveals to you things that
Mhm,
other people can't comprehend. So you have to try to explain it
mhm,
the best way you can, because
mhm.
otherwise they paint you out to be crazy. Example, Kanye
100%.
West.
Oh yeah, 100. I was just about to say Kanye is an example for that.
Yeah.
Kanye is my favorite artist, man, hands down. I've been a fan since College Dropout, but
Hmm.
I think a lot of times stuff that he says gets taken out of context because of
Yeah.
he's always been
You
the
try
underdog.
to
This is
take
what I
the
always
words
say.
and
Kanye
misconstrue.
Kanye has never been at the top. He's always been the underdog. No matter which way you slice it and dice it, he's always been. And since the first album he put out to the last album he put out to the one that he's putting out right now,
And
and
God
he's
sides with the underdog.
what's up?
God sides with the underdog.
Absolutely, and he has a continuous career. I mean, you talking about years, man, years
Longevity.
and years and years, and
Hmm.
you know, I can't. When it comes to Kanye being an artist, I can't say this is the first time I'm actually realizing this, but I can't say that he's ever been the king or the leader in hip hop. I could say
He's not. He's led a generation.
yeah, I could say for Kanye, I could say he was the one that's altered our sound for hip hop time and time again. Where
Hmm.
when he dropped one album, the sound of hip hop changed. When he dropped another album, sound of hip hop changed. A lot of people don't realize 808s and Heartbreak when it came out, everybody hated that album when it came
I
out.
didn't. I loved it.
I thought
Fire.
it was great. I thought it was a
Yeah.
phenomenal project, but people hated that album because it didn't sound like what was out right now. But
Hmm.
what Kanye realized, this is what I think, I would love to talk to him about it, but I think he realized through everything he was going through, it put
Yeah.
him in a different state of mind where he was able to almost create the music that we have now in 2018.
Changing the status quo.
Exactly. Not every artist can do that. And going back to 6ix9ine, I think 6ix9ine successfully created his own sound where we looked
A
at
book too.
A Boogie. There's a lot of artists out right now. A
Mhm.
Boogie's style, I like to call it this. I think the next style coming out is contemporary hip hop. I don't know if you ever listen to contemporary rock, but that's what this style reminds me of right now. But 6ix9ine, on the other
Yeah.
hand, created this full production, this energy, like we talked about
Yeah.
earlier, energy that was
Yeah.
transferred from him into a song that you got, and you were just able to feel it. You fit when that song comes on in the club, you
Yeah.
feel it. The energy
Fact.
changes.
Same thing with what you call it, Cardi too.
Absolutely,
Because
Bacardi.
when women were out here rapping, bro,
Hmm.
all they were talking about was either having sex
Hmm.
in explicit ways
Hmm.
or being gangster and doing violent things that I don't think females should be doing. But now Cardi
Hmm.
shows you that, yo, this is me. I could rap about bars. I could show you that I'm stepping out with the drip. I could show you what it's like on my feelings. Like, you feel me? And she's doing it amazingly, bro. So she earned the title of queen.
Absolutely, and
That's
then
not a
this goes.
self-entitlement thing.
It goes back to the same thing with 6ix9ine that I said.
Yeah.
The versatility. She
Yeah.
came out. She got hot with the first record on Bodak Yellow, but then you
Mm-hmm.
think about everything else that she dropped after that. I mean, she made songs with Maroon 5. She made songs with Bruno Mars. She
Fire.
she was
Shout
put.
out to Dino.
Yo, she was just out here just coming out with that versatile, just being versatile. And then on top of that too, same thing as 6ix9ine, the personality was also there, where you found her entertaining. You either hated her, you loved her, and that was it. And I think that's where 6ix9ine led to. So, I think that's what you have to think about when it comes to being an artist. I mean, if you want to be a leader in something, you got to be versatile. We talked about Kanye earlier. Kanye was versatile. We talked about Jay-Z. Jay-Z was versatile. Yeah.
Versatile and transparent.
Versatile and transparent. I think it's even more than the transparency, because we got reality TV. I think it's just, being 100% like who you are and showing people your true personality. It's not just showing everybody everything that's going on. Like, you got to really you got to be passionate about everything that you do, man. That's what it comes down to, in my opinion. You got to be passionate about it.
Jesus has eyes of flames, or eyes that are fiery red eyes, right? Not to say that they're color red, but to show that there's passion in his eyes.
Absolutely. L-Dot, what's going on? He says, I think the king's dead, like a J-Rock track. We got warlords now.
He's funny as hell. I mean, there's a time for everything, bro. But the thing is, when it comes to war, bro, there's strategies to warfare, bro. Because chess is a war game, but it's not a violent game. No one just gets up and says, "No, you took my piece. I'll punch you in the face." You feel me? What Martin Luther King and Malcolm X were trying to show you guys was that there's a way to go through and have warfare, but do it aggressively peaceful. Because there's a way to say, yo, I'm making a stand, but I don't need to hurt you to do it. I don't need to hurt you and kill you to prove my point, to let you know that I mean business and that you're not going to walk all over me.
100%. I can agree with that, because you think about it, the music industry is war. Like, NBA basketball is war. But like you said, I mean, people do get into fights and beef does happen, but, it's more about, like, what is the end product? Like, what are you doing? Like, why should we care? Like, nobody's going to care about the losing team at the NBA if you got to suck. Like, it's cool, but you're not going to matter.
The NBA always has a chance at winning the chip, though.
Yeah, 100%. Everybody always does. And
everyone has their own goals to score their certain amount of buckets, get their certain amount of blocks on a personal level.
100%. Same thing in the music industry. Everybody has a chance. Everybody has a chance to make it to the top. It's just a matter of, like, what are you going to do with it? Like, what are you going to do with your opportunity? And that's how I think you become the leader of something. What are you going to do with your opportunity?
Facts.
Yeah.
But your words could mean anything, though, as we've seen in politics. As a people are elected as president, so it's all about your actions. So I could say whatever I want to say, but I've learned that words mean nothing, bro. I have a song called King's Reign. It has a video to it where I learned to play the game of chess and apply it to life, where I say reigns through actions, not through words.
100%.
Yes, sir.
But go ahead and wrap this up. Why don't you tell everybody where they can find you at, anything that you got coming out, anything that you're doing.
Well, you can stream me on all outlets. Search up Richie B Unruly. You'll be able to find. I have 7 projects out. We have the Next Generation, Retracing Steps, the 4-part series, the prologue, the transition, the heart, and the finale. I have Coming of Age, and I have a dancehall EP called The Bunna Man's Tale. And find me by searching my name up, Rumele, RUMELE. Mountain Be Thou Removed, my latest podcast. 7 episodes in, 7 projects in. Yes, sir. And Instagram, GYN_twice, RUMMY.
That's what's up. That's what's up, man. Thank you for coming on. It was a pleasure speaking with you. It was a great episode, some great topics. Thank you, everybody that's tuned in, whether you're on YouTube, SoundCloud, Stitcher, I don't know where you at, but, we appreciate each and every single one of y'all.
Yes, sir.
And before we leave with everybody, last week we had some technical difficulties, so we had a little clip we wanted to play for y'all. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to play that so you guys could check it out. And we'll see you next week, 9 p.m. Peace.
Bless.
Hope everyone's having a wonderful morning. I just wanted to talk today about change and to know that you're never stuck in anything and that you always have a chance in life to make life changes. If you don't like the path you're on, you can change it. If you don't like the story you're in, you can change it. If you feel like it's just not the right thing for you, you can always change it. And I feel like sometimes people get stuck on what they think they're stuck in, but you're not stuck. Nothing in life is permanent unless you allow that to be the story of your life.